Right. Every woman I coach eventually says some version of the same sentence. It usually comes about three sessions in after we've already talked about her calendar, her energy, her boundaries. And she'll pause and say, I don't actually know who I am anymore outside of this role. She's a VP, a founder, a partner, a mother who ran a household for 2 decades, and she built all of it so well that the role became indistinguishable from the person. Welcome, or welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Tora Brown, and this is Best Life, where we talk about how high achieving women build lives and careers that actually fit who they are now and not who they used to be. Today, I want to talk about why that sentence, the one, I don't actually know who I am anymore outside of this role, why that is not a crisis. It is not a crisis. It's the doorway because you cannot build a next chapter on top of an identity that was designed for the last one. So, are you ready? Let's get into it. So, I want to talk about what I call the strategy trap. And here's the mistake I watch high achieving women make constantly. I've even made it myself. When something isn't working, the job feels hollow, the marriage feels flat, the business has plateaued. Our instinct is to strategize our way out, right? A new title, a new market, a new morning routine. We treat the problem as tactical, but most of the time, the plateau isn't a strategy problem. It's an identity problem wearing a strategy costume. I'm going to say that again. It's an identity problem wearing a strategy costume. Think about the executive who gets the promotion she's chased for 6 years and feels nothing, not because the promotion was wrong, but because she was chasing a title that matched who she used to be, not who she'd already become. The strategy worked perfectly. It just executed an outdated identity. And this is why the truth pillar comes before the tactics in the best framework. Body, expectations, and schedule all matter, but they're downstream of one honest question. Who am I actually building this life for right now? So let's talk about it because identity is a structure, not a feeling. And I want to correct a common misunderstanding. People treat identity like a mood, something you feel your way into, but it's not. Identity is a structure. It's the operating system underneath every decision you make, whether you've examined it or not. And here's the part that matters for your next chapter. Your current identity was built for problems you no longer have. The identity that got a first generation professional to the C suite was often built around proving, over delivering, and never being the reason that something failed. Well, that structure was load bearing and it worked. But if you carry, I must never be the weak link into your 50s, into a business you own, into a marriage that needs softness instead of performance, that same structure that built you can now be the exact thing that's capping you. So I saw this with a client, an operations leader who had spent 15 years being the person who fixed everything. When she stepped into a role where her job was to develop other people to fix things, she nearly sabotaged it. And not from incompetence. Her identity had no category for valuable and not indispensable. We had to rebuild that structure before any calendar or leadership strategy could actually hold. So the question isn't, how do I feel more confident? It's, what was this identity engineered to do? And is that still the job? Hmm. So there are three places that identity hides itself. Identity doesn't announce itself. It hides in three places. And I want you to check all three of these places. So are you ready? Number one is your language. Listen to how you describe yourself when you're tired, not when you're performing. I'm just someone who handles things. I'm the strong one. Those aren't facts. They're job descriptions you wrote for yourself a long time ago, and you're still clocking in. 2, your resistance. Notice what you refuse to delegate, refuse to rest from, refuse to receive help with. Resistance is rarely about capacity. It's usually identity protecting its own evidence. If letting someone else run the meeting feels dangerous rather than unfamiliar, that's identity talking. And 3, your relief. This one surprises people. Pay attention to what makes you feel oddly relieved when it's taken off your plate. A project that ends, a title you lose, a responsibility someone else picks up. Relief is data. It's usually pointing to an identity you've outgrown but haven't officially retired. Most women scan their calendar for what's not working. I want you to scan these 3 places instead. That's where the actual renovation needs to happen. So now we're going to talk about building the next identity on purpose. Okay? So if identity is a structure, and I believe it is, the good news is structures can be redesigned deliberately and not accidentally. And here's how I walk clients through it. Instead of asking, who do I want to become, which is too abstract to ask on, I want you to ask 3 sharper questions. First, what does this next chapter actually require of me? Not what worked before, but what does the specific season you're entering require? A founder preparing to exit needs a different identity than the founder who built the company. A woman preparing for an empty nest needs a different identity than the mother who ran the household for 20 years. Second, which parts of my current identity are load-bearing and which are just habit? Keep the load-bearing ones and be willing to let the habitual ones go, even the ones that earned you praise. And third, what would I have to believe about myself to act differently starting Monday? Not someday, Monday. Identity shifts happen in specific decisions, not in general intentions. The executive who's practicing valuable and not indispensable proves it by not answering the email at 9 p.m., not by journaling about it. This is slow, deliberate work. It is not a rebrand. It's closer to architecture. You're not redecorating the house. You're checking which walls are load-bearing before you take a sledgehammer to them. So, if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Your next chapter will not be built by a better calendar or a bolder goal. It will be built by an identity that was actually designed for where you're going, not where you've already been. So this week, don't ask, what do I want to do differently? Ask, who was I built to be for the last chapter? And is she still the right person for this next one? That's the truth pillar. And that's where the real work starts. So if this resonated with you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. We're going deeper into the best framework in the videos ahead. So drop a comment and tell me which identity you're ready to retire. I read every one. And if you're ready to take this from reflection into action, I'd love to have you at the upcoming Best Life Vision Board experience. It's a virtual session happening Saturday, August 8th at 11 a.m. Pacific. And it's where we take everything we've talked about today, the identity that's ready to be built for your next chapter, and turn it into something concrete you can see, plan around, and hold yourself to. Spots are limited, so grab yours today. The link is in the description, and I hope you will join us. I'll see you in the next one, or better yet, I hope to see you in the room. I'm Dr. Tora Brown, and this is Best Life. Thanks for joining me.